Heidi-ho, happy campers, and welcome back to part 4 of Geronimo Stilton and the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, brought to you by Scholastic. Last time we were reading the book, our friends, the heroes of the story, were being chased through the woods by giant Calyadids, part bear creatures with heads of leopards. Our friends had managed to chop down a tree to fall across a giant ravine. Then they're going to scurry across the fallen log to try to escape the Calyadids. The trouble was, before they could get all the way across the log bridge they had created, the Calyadids got to the other side and were chasing them. What will they do? How will they survive? That's coming up next. This chapter is called River Rafting. The Calyadids moved towards Dorothy and her friends. Their jaws were wide open and dripping with slobber. "Stay calm," cried the Scarecrow. "If the woodman chops the trunk as soon as we reach the other side, the Calyadids will all fall into the ravine." Without a moment to waste, the 5 friends scurried along, trying hard to keep their balance. When they finally reached the other side of the ravine, the Tin Woodman quickly brandished his axe and chopped through the tree trunk. The Calyadids gripped the bark with their sharp claws, but finally slipped and tumbled into the depths below. Thundering cattails, Dorothy and her brave friends had escaped danger by a whisker. Here the forest was bright again, and the trees and bushes weren't as thick. "Look!" the woodman cried, pointing into the distance. "There's a river!" He was right. A large river flowed peacefully nearby. On the other side of the river was the yellow brick road. "How can we get across?" Dorothy asked, peering around. Once again, it was the Scarecrow who had the solution. He asked the Tin Woodman to cut down more tree trunks. They could make a raft that would take them to the other side. Before they knew it, the friends found themselves floating on a raft down the river, paddling with long poles. They were about halfway across when a strong current pushed the raft off course. "Oh no!" Dorothy squeaked. "Rats! Now we'll never get to the other side." "What a mess!" the woodman cried. "This river flows right to the land of the Wicked Witch of the West." The Scarecrow tried to stop the raft by sticking his pole into the river bottom, but his body was too light to hold the raft back. The raft kept moving, while the Scarecrow and his pole stayed stuck. There he is, stuck on the pole in the middle of the river. "Farewell, friends," the poor straw man called sadly. "No," squeaked Dorothy. The Tin Woodman started to cry, but then remembered that it would just make his face rusty, so he quickly dried his tears. They had to do something. They couldn't abandon a friend. "Have courage." As the current carried the raft away, the Cowardly Lion shook his mane with determination. "Have courage," he cried. "We can do this." The friends looked around, trying to come up with a plan. "Fast! Grab my tail and hold on," the lion instructed Dorothy, the Tin Woodman, and Toto. "I'll swim and tow the raft to shore." It took a long time and an amazing amount of strength, but at last the powerful lion managed to pull all of his friends to safety, except one. The Scarecrow was still stuck in the middle of the river. looking more discouraged than ever. Dorothy and the others stared at him hopelessly from the riverbank. Holy cheese! What could they do? Just then, an enormous stork landed a few steps away from them. Hello there, she said pleasantly. What are you doing in these parts? We're on our way to see the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy softly squeaked sadly. Oh, but this isn't the right way, the stork objected. Yes, we know, Dorothy nodded. But do you see the scarecrow over there? He's one of our friends and he's stuck in the middle of the river. We can't go to the Emerald City without him. The stork looked at the scarecrow, then back at Dorothy, thinking hard. Maybe I can try to carry him, she suggested. As long as he's not too heavy. Oh, he's very light, Dorothy beamed. He's made of straw. The stork flew into the air, grabbed the scarecrow by his shirt, and managed to carry him to the riverbank faster than a mouse on a cheese hunt. The scarecrow was so happy to be back with his friends that he hugged them all and danced with joy. Dorothy smiled at the stork gratefully. I don't know what we would have done without your help. Oh, it was nothing, the stork said, blushing. Now I must go because my little ones are waiting for me in our nest. Safe travels and good luck. Thanks again, the friends all shouted as the stork took off into the sky. The Enchanted Poppies. Before long, Dorothy and her friends came across an enormous field of fragrant scarlet poppies. The flowers were enchanted. Their scent was so strong that anyone who breathed it would fall fast asleep. And if the sleepers weren't taken far away from the flowers, they would sleep forever. Since Dorothy didn't know this, she sniffed the poppies many times. They smelled fabulous. In no time, she began to feel her eyelids grow heavy until she and Toto both fell into a deep sleep. Now what? Asked the Tin Woodman. If we leave her here, I'm afraid she'll sleep forever, replied the Lion. I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open, and Toto is already asleep. The Woodman and the Scarecrow couldn't smell anything, though, so they were wide awake. The Scarecrow immediately recognized the danger and told the Lion, You must get far away from here or you'll fall fast asleep too. Well, we'll take care of Dorothy and Toto. Go now. Terrified, the Lion leapt to his paws and fled. The Woodman took Dorothy in his arms. The Scarecrow picked up Toto, and they continued on their journey. Step by step, they followed the yellow brick road through the poppy field until they glimpsed a huge figure lying in the flowers. It was the Cowardly Lion. The smell of the poppies had overwhelmed him, and now he was fast asleep. He's too heavy for us, the Tin Woodman moaned. We'll have to leave him here. Looking sadly back over his shoulder, they walked on, leaving the poor lion behind. Poor lion sleeping in the poppy field. some helping paws. The Scarecrow and Tin Woodman continued walking with Dorothy and Toto in their arms. It seemed like the field of poppies would never end, but finally they reached a clearing without flowers at the edge of the river. They laid Dorothy and Toto on the ground and fanned some air over them to chase away the poisonous poppy scent. The Scarecrow sighed. "Let's hope we find the yellow brick road." A deafening meow echoed in the clearing, making the two friends jump. Thundering cattails! What was that? Before they knew it, a strange animal leapt out of the grass. It was an enormous wild cat with dark fur. It had bright yellow eyes and tremendous jaws with 2 rows of sharp, glistening teeth. It was truly terrifying, and it was quickly moving towards them. The woodman realized that the cat was following a little gray rabbit. Even though he didn't have a heart, he couldn't let the beast do something terrible to the innocent bunny. Without hesitating, he raised his axe. It came down right in front of the cat, who nearly jumped out of his fur and ran away as fast as his paws would take him. The rabbit huffed and puffed, trying to catch her breath. Puff, puff. "Thank you," pant, pant. "You saved my life." "Oh, it was nothing," the woodman said, kicking the dirt. "I don't have a heart, you know, but I always try to help out someone in trouble, even a simple rabbit." "What do you mean, simple rabbit?" the rabbit replied, annoyed. "I am a queen, the queen of the rabbits." "Oh, I beg your pardon," the woodman cried. He gave a deep bow which made him squeak and creak all over. Just then a band of rabbits hopped up and surrounded the queen. "This funny man of tin saved me," she declared. "In exchange, you will do anything that he wishes." The rabbits nodded enthusiastically. "What can we do for you, sir?" The woodman shrugged his shoulders, unsure of what to say, but the Scarecrow said, "We need you to help us transport our friend the lion, who fell asleep in the poppy field. Can you find some ropes?" The rabbit sprang into action, rushing off to find ropes. "And you, woodman," the Scarecrow continued, "use your axe to cut down some trees and build a wooden cart." While Dorothy and Toto continued to sleep peacefully, their friends built a large cart using 4 thick slices of tree trunks for wheels. The rabbits found some ropes and tied it to the front of the cart. Pulling all together with the help of the woodman and the Scarecrow, the rabbits managed to drag the cart all the way to the Cowardly Lion. They piled the huge creature on top and pulled him to the clearing, safe and sound. Holy cheese! What a feat! Now they've cleared the poppy field and we're ready for the next chapter, A Greenhouse Fit for a Mouse, which I'll read next time. Bye!